Then to understand the children is to understand yourself. Yeah? We are all big children. In our countries, we didn't have like a boyfriend and girlfriend, and it was very kind of prohibited. Child disability, the homosexuality in children. Huge jump from my generation to my children's generation, like a disaster. It's like a pandemic. So today I have decided to talk about children, and only children. And we can start to talk about development of the children from the day they come to the universe through the mother and father, basically, when they are made, and then we can start from there. I remember I was in Germany, and I all of a sudden find out that I was pregnant, and I didn't even know the concept of pregnancy and how you can become pregnant, because we have never learned this in the schools. So this type of education as a children, we never had it. The feeling was when you are so young, you are scared, basically. You don't know what you're doing. Yes. At that time, I could not tell my parents. It was a different time, and then you have to be married and like in a relationship or something like that. But when you are a teenager, like 19 years old, things happen on the way you work, you meet the people, and then somehow you are in a relationship. And you don't know how to be in a relationship because no one told you what can happen out of the relationship. In our countries, we didn't have like a boyfriend and girlfriend, and it was very kind of prohibited things to talk about it. So it was very scary, didn't know what you are doing, didn't know what's gonna happen later on. And now I'm 49, okay? So I believe now in my age, and when I look back to my life and what I have done till now, all those success I have, maybe fame, or maybe you are good professional, but what is matter now is the children. Well, that's what makes me happy. I go back again to the children, and why it's so matter to explain to the population, to give them value. There is no children, there is no life. Simple as that, right? We cannot talk about future because it's happening now, right? We live as like a communities, and the community consists with the females, males, and if there is no children, there is no community. And you can see the effect with the communities because there is no life. There is no development, no economy, and it's only like elderly generation. And the children brings life eventually. How we see the children? Are they understand? Are they conscious? Is this all about genetics? Is it all about where they grow, who they become? Children grow up, some become criminals, some become good humans, some become nobodies, just like a biological waste. I want to understand what guarantees to have a good generation is to have a foundationally to have a good quality of children. So when I go back, how to make these changes and adaptation? So when we have to start back to the children, because to change the adult, it's much more difficult because they are already so much corrupt. And corruption is embedded in the adult and then elderly especially. So from the children, we can start to teaching them all those good behaviors. And then in the worldwide, we can change the humanity as a whole. That is my idea. And it starts with the children. First of all, the choice, and choice to have a children. That is the first step. Secondly, when you make the choice is not just to have a child. Choice to be healthy, as like a biological body, as a mother and the father, to have a healthy child. So even that has become difficult because world is so polluted. I mean, by pollution is air is polluted, water is polluted, food is polluted, humans are corrupt. So there is no choice for the children to become better. So when we are deciding as an adult to have a children, this is the choice to become better human yourself. It depends where you are in your life, what you achieve in your life, the plan ahead, put it this way. Children is responsibility. You don't want to have yourself sick, decided to have family, and because your choice was wrong, now it's not only you are sick, your child is sick. And especially my time, we had like in 100 babies, it was like one baby was with ADHD, and maybe we had out of 100, one was not a homosexual, but the child didn't know who he was. And it was very few cases like that. But now when you look around, like child disability, the homosexuality in children, and all other things is so widespread. It's like a disaster. It's like a pandemic. You have to look deep into it, why this is such a huge jump from my generation to my children's generation, like he's 27, and then it jumps to the generation of my children, which starts from 14 to 5. So I'm kind of being a mother for like throughout of 15 years and then in younger age. So I can make the connection in my brain myself and in my childhood as well, what's happening. Instead of like in 21st century, we're going and developing the medicine and food industry becomes so like, packed and sterilized, and we have to get improved as a physical bodies, biological bodies, but somehow or another we get stupidized. Of course, as a mother, when you grow up, you decided, no, let me have a look inside what's going on, because I'm there, I'm dealing, and then let me find out how it's happening. So psychology, it's like applies as the woman and man, and the relationship is everywhere, friendship, the mother and father and children relationship. So it can apply vice versa. The children is like the humans, but they're called like a children humans, and they have exactly their own language, their own emotion, relationship like the big people, same type of relationship you can apply to the children. And then I have tried that, because all these things I'm learning through the Gottman therapy, for the adult relationship. And I have started to learning the psychology, history of the psychology, and obviously they teach us the brain and neuroscience, and the children is one of the biggest topics. So I always apply the study in these courses I'm taking it to my children. And then I have this, the beautiful material around me, running around the wild, beautiful, healthy, happy, playful, and I apply to my children. When I apply to it, I'm finding out that how the humans can corrupt the children's mind as well, and how important it is. And I have realized that however I can be crazy with my children, I can slap them in the butt again. No violence, but definitely I'm very strong-minded person. Plus I have my small child inside as well, for sure. The Raymond called me, Mommy, you are like a big child, but you have this child inside. And this is the sweetest thing Raymond told me, and I wrote it in my book as well. So then to understand the children is to understand yourself. Yeah? We are all big children, and we all like to play. And where we are children, we are playing the children's game. And then when we grow up, we're learning that, okay, we cannot run around and teach us like the children, because it's gonna look stupid, right? I always explain to them, there are 5 of them. It's just so much fun. I said, guys, imagine now you are all not have these bodies. And now you have big bodies like me and Dada, and you do exactly same like children. I say that would look really violent. So in the family, we have they scream and they shout and they upset each other, and they learn the emotion. They learn how to be upset, they learn how to be angry. Sometimes I even bully them myself to teach them what is bullying means, and then it's not good. And I exercise on each other, how they bully each other, and which one more is that and what is that. But most important thing what I teach my children is a brother and sister. And in some families, this is really broken down. There can be a big family or small family. When brother and sister grows up, they are not together, they don't understand each other, they don't have a common things to talk about it. Because even the children is so separated from that time, because they go separate in the kindergarten. Different place, different people, different attitude, and they go to the school. So even the brothers and sisters doesn't know each other. Nevertheless, the parents don't know their children. So for me to take my children in the school, it was one of the horrible days. It was like graving my children going to the school. It was very, very difficult. And people judging you is like, I have my own principle, because I learned throughout of my life. And I follow my own way of teaching them. And then I realized that love and care and play and sleeping and have parents around is more important to just take the children in the kindergarten. I understand the problem outside in the Western world or even in poor countries. Parents don't have enough money to paint the house or have a babysitter. And women want to run around and go work now. And the work is more important. Okay, how I see religion and the children. Myself, I grew up in a very, the communist country, but we still are very religious. But I didn't understand what was religious. When I was 3 years old, they hid us, our parents, and they took us some village to question us because it was prohibited. Everyone was Communist Party member. No one was not a member. So it was like a kind of, even you are the child in the school, we are some kind of member of the party. That's how we are growing up. But they hide us and they Christian us, and I was 3 years old and I don't remember nothing. So, and we could not even go to the church because it was prohibited. But then slowly, it was lifted up, the Russia is broke down. So then somehow or another, everyone became religious and they started going to the church, and we didn't even know how to pray properly, to be honest. And then when the priest prays, you don't understand anything what they pray. But I have been told that that's your God and this is the best God, and that's the only God, and we are special. That's what I would understand. And then religious tells us things. So I couldn't read the Bible, obviously, that time. And then it was not on my contents that they made me religious. But you growing up in this society, everyone does what you do. So that's what you see. Then you travel other countries, and then you realize it, wait a minute. I went to USA first time when I realized that there are like so many religions. And then Muslim religion is not devil religion, I understood. There was the Buddhism, there was the Hinduism, and in America there are like 200. So I decided, I don't know, I'm confused now, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. It's like a fight between, I have been told this is my religion, but then I have been told that, wait a minute, look, so many of them. So I started looking into the name of the gods, and then I realized that we have like 200 and something name of the God in different culture, and they all have some meaning behind. And the most of the meaning, it comes from the cultures like Umba Kumba or some name is like that. And so I realized that I cannot give the religion to my children. Simple as that. Because it brings you in, it's like a confound bracket. And you are not opened up for anything else. It degrades you as a human being as well, especially in this time and age. The religion become completely abused. A religion is nothing to do with the God. It's the institution of how to live your life. And it gives you the value. The value, don't kill, don't do this, don't do that. But somehow we are born with these values, right? We know as a human to kill as a human is not good, right? Do you need a religion to tell you that? Okay, we don't need a religion. Now my children, one is born in Russia, one is born in Georgia, and two was born in Goa in India, and two other born in Sri Lanka. Now I lived in so many international countries with so many cultural things, and especially India was one of the biggest eye-opener. And for myself, when I find out that there is no God in a way, that there is no guy sitting down telling me what to do or what to follow, I decided that to give religion to my children just because of someone told you so, I thought it was incorrect and I would abuse their rights. Simple as that. And I told them always, they know the Jesus, they know the Buddha, they know Muhammad, they know all religions, they can have hand on it. And I told them, whatever they decided when in their age of time, they would choose what they want to follow. If they want to follow. I will never tell them one way or another. Now we are so globalized, right? And these children is so globalized. Because one Sri Lankan can talk to other Georgian or from Georgia to America and America to the Dubai, and that we are so all multinational, right? And so how we can define and how we can divide the children by the religion, right? How we can define each other by the color of the skin, or by the title. So if you want to discipline your child, just show them good habit within the house. So show them that you don't lie, and then you don't need a God or religion to be good. My children know, don't kill the animal. When you see someone struggling, you give them hand. When you see the elderly, you give them help, you listen to them, even you don't want it. That is value I carry, and especially with my children. And not everybody can have a children. Not everyone deserves a children. And sometimes I even think that to have a children, you need a license. Just like, if you go to the swimming pool and it's like for public, usually they would tell us to go to the doctor, check your nails, and if your nails have no fungus, after they would give you the doctor's letter, they tell you, okay, you don't have a fungus, any disease on your skin, and now you can go to the public swimming pool. So we would go through this procedure, children growing up in my country, and we are checked that we are not danger for other children to give them disease. So same way the responsibility needs to be taken that when people decided to have a children. The people who have mental disorders and people who have genetic disorders, because bring the children with this type of diseases will be not good for anyone. Adaptation is like absolutely, why not? We adopt the dogs, we care for dogs, we care for animals. So if some babies are there out in the world and they're healthy and some family couldn't take the responsibility to give them good life, absolutely. It doesn't matter like children belongs to you genetically or not. All this matter is what kind of love you can give it to them. They are yours or they are not, because I love my cat as well, you see. He's like my baby boy, you can call him. And then my dogs, which is growing out outside, and why not children? You can give exactly the same love. And I can talk about love now, okay? And the children and love and the relationship between having one child and having 6 child, put it this way. And then what kind of feelings you have when you have one, and then now you got pregnant with the second one, and then now as a mother you feel like you won't be able to give as much love to another child, and then you have to divide this love between 2 of them, and you're scared and you have feelings about it, but you can't talk about it, because if you talk about it, people say, oh, well, but it's real. These feelings are real. And I can tell you that when the second my daughter was born, after 12 years gap, I was happy, I welcomed her, and after like a very, very short time, I got pregnant on the second baby. And I was so in love with my Mila, I would think that, oh my gosh, now this another baby comes, and then how I'm gonna divide my love between these 2 babies? And then I was thinking, how these 2 babies gonna divide love between themselves? And it was like a kind of, like emotions. And it's no one there to tell you, it's okay, let it be, that's life. So you are playing with it, but the minute the second one comes, and it's just miracle. And every time they appear, it's a miracle. And all 5 of them, I had this kind of vision, and these children coming next to the window, and the window was closed, and I woke up, and then I told to my husband, Mila was there, and then I say, Mali, there is other babies outside the windows, knocking on the windows, they wanna come, I don't know what does that means. And then I have all the miracles after every 2 years. But one point, it's not easy. It's not easy to be a mother. It's not easy to have so many babies, and then you have to make sure that all your babies are healthy. It doesn't matter you have 5 babies and then one doesn't come out as you want it. No, they are all the same in the way that of love of the mother. That's the bridge and love I find out within me, how much love we have sometimes, the ladies especially, to give. And that's why I am so happy. I decided that I'm healthy, energetical. Why not to give them life, and then why not to make them better human beings? It's like the children is not planned. And then, as they say, children comes from the sky. You can put it this way. Because I don't believe the terminology psychology is talking about. There is the dualism, and then the dualism is about that you believe the body and you believe the soul. But the scientists cannot accept that dualism because they cannot prove it no one way and no another. So one of the science called that it's pseudo psychology. And then I look into it. So I see children as like, I start to see them as like, not only children, as somebody like I carry, and then I give them the body and something it gives them the soul. Yeah, so like it just happened. Children just come. When they need to come, they come. That's bottom line. The people go stages and like, you look, whatever you want to be like 6 years old, you know, and you change after 9 years. Okay. I'm talking about the year gap again, right? What you want when you are 6, you are completely different human. And I call them children human. Then you go the some kind of teenager human you are. Then you are kind of like the adult human. Then you are growing. So different stage of the human stage, you want different things, right? And when you're young, you want, especially in this time, you want something more. You want car, you want freedom, you want to take drugs, you want to have lots of sexual relationship, and you want to have it all. But it's have it all, never finish. And they get into this rat hole and they're going around and around and around. But in the end, all people want to have a babies. That comes down to the point. Go somewhere and then see the friends who have a children and experience for a couple of days and have this vibe that it's not just like they told us in Western countries, you have children, you have a 2-bedroom house, and then you stuck there, you have to take them in a school, you have to take them there, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, we're gonna need to do that, and we're gonna have to buy school this, and then we have to pay for the school money, and then before the child is born, it's already so many things you have to do for the child. And you have to buy this, and then he wants a special trolley, and he wants a special this, and to be honest, I grow my children in one cot. And this cot was given by my mother-in-law, first present when my baby girl was born. And then I use the same cot for all 5 children, and clothes I had, I use for all 5 children. And then when they change it, I give that clothes to other children. And then when my children was growing, the same happened to us. Exactly the same. The people would give their clothes and then nicely. And so it was not that difficult. It was not that horrible to have a children. And it's not that scary to have a children. But we made ourselves scared of the fear. Somebody tell you, oh, your career will break down. Okay, and the career, if you work to the like a 9-to-5 job, or you work for a government and blah blah blah. But for me, it was different. I cannot tell everyone to be like me. But choices is always there. And when they decided to have a family, why are you living in America? Why are you living in the Western countries? Why you are going in the rat race? Now you want to enjoy your family. There is beautiful countries like Sri Lanka, or you can go to India, and then you can have your beautiful family and they live on the beach, and then gives them this human love we have in Sri Lanka. So that's why Sri Lanka is so famous. Well, if it was not my program and my coaching, I would have asked my children themselves. But in my situation, we hardly separate. And means like I don't go 9-to-5 jobs. I have my own business, and my husband was very supportive, and so do I. And we decided that we don't want to be separated from our children. And it was like a very strong decision from both of us to stay there for them. And I think this was the best choice. We as a couple did it for them. So we are always there for them, no matter what. And this is very, very important. Father figure have to be in a children's life. I become more thoughtful. I become more caring, more empathic. I learn how to look after my children, and I learn to be patient, and lots of patience. And I learn to be friend with them. And it was, for me, difficult. You have to, most important things, to teach them skills. And I'm talking about skills, not like a mathematics or the physics, but the basic skills that they can make something with their hands. They learn how to look after the nature, put it this way. They learn how to make cheese, they learn how to paint, they learn how to break the things. Yeah, this is the basic things children have to learn. They have to break these things, they have to shout, they have to fight. Yeah, because if they don't do that now, they will have to confiscate that. Yeah, means like when they grow, they will do that. It's no way. You cannot say like in USA or other countries, they delay children to be children. How? Well, they give them antidepressants. Now, I can talk about this very strongly because I'm very, very against it. why child need antidepressant. So the idea is that they are naughty, they make too much noise, they are crying, they are fighting. And so it's like ADHD, and they take the children to the doctor, and then they say it's too much shouting, I'm working, like blah, 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 and they give the child to the antidepressants. Now they have these stupid-eyed children not making any noise, and then parents are happy. But when the children growing up, now they're already damaged with this antidepressant, and on top of it, they did not have the childhood. They did not cry, they did not shout, they did not fight. And now all those things, you are after 16, and then now all you didn't experience to be a child now, because we are dumbed up. And now they want to experience to be a child. And then now we have a lot, the children, adults, never growing up. But it's not only just like what children happening, it's the chemically what's happening in your brain, that's another thing, yeah? And we have all this withdraw generation, depressed children, lots of suicidal because of that. And parents don't know their children anymore afterwards. They say, where I go wrong? Well, when you put your child on antidepressant on 11 years old, that's where you go wrong. And there is always the reason why this is happening. And then I believe that the most important thing for the mother, to make sure the mother go for a shopping. Make sure she goes and she buys the food and then brings it in the house, and make sure she does the right choice for the children. Because whatever you bring them to the table, they're going to eat. And I see the parents, they are like overweight, wife overweight, husband overweight, children overweight. They say, oh, this is genetics. I'm thinking, no, this is not the genetics. That's what you give your child, and that your mother gave it to you. And they thought it was good for you. And when you are a child, they want to give you the chocolate. And they don't have a concept of giving the chocolate, giving this artificial food, how much you can damage the later on the development of your child. So I don't like people to do that to their children. And then I'm really against it. And then in our country, it's lots of cases that when people the children come from the school, there the candy shop is there, and then it's not just the only candy shop, it's like a glucose powder. And then I see these children eating this glucose powder. Probably I don't have a right to say anything because I'm not the mother and parent or the teacher, but as a human and a citizen, I have my due to do it. So that's why I always lead by my example, and then I know what I got. Just like we plant the tree, my children is my seeds, and then when they grow and they'll be healthy, and then children, the healthy generation, healthy population, happy relationship. That's it. Now, I have lots of degrees, put it this way. Like first, my degree is the school. Then within the school, I studied the music. When I finished it, I went to technical study for the music. Then I went to the higher education. And none of them are using it now. I become the cheesemaker. And that skill, the cheese making, what drives me for 25 years. Because if you decided to go from the first world country to the third world country as India, and you are sitting on a beach, and then now what you gonna do? You can't teach them piano, and then you can't teach them this. So something that you need to do to survive, and the survival skill is like that. You can make cheese anywhere in the world if you have a milk. So it same goes with everything. It applies with everything. It's like a chemistry. I always tell them to make sure that they got each other back, no matter what. And I always tell them to be close to each other as a brother and sisters. And I always tell them to help each other if they need it. And my support is unlimited. I will never limit my children. And I don't believe that when people growing these children until 16 age in the Western countries, usually this has happened, and now this baby was giving them so much happiness and love and this and that, and then until age 16 they do that all, and then after they're throwing them out. Now you go and find your own way, and not equating with anything. How are you throwing your child out from your door? He doesn't know what to do now. So I'm teaching my children the skills and togetherness, and the community. It's very important. Why it's important? I'll tell you one thing, they know better than me now. I'll tell you that, right? Because I don't have any luck on the internet, and then, time to time, like we all, even sometimes we see on the Facebook in our pages some sexual stuff. And then now even in the cartoons, recently I watched some sausage cartoon. I don't know, it was adult cartoon, but there's all kind of things going on. So I was like, oh my gosh, what I'm gonna do? And in my time, we did not know what sex was. And schools never teach us what sex was. We just don't know. We thought we're coming from the rubbish bins or through the watermelon. And that's how we believe. And when I was 13 years old, one of my friends, I remember playing the football, and he told me that, oh, your mama and dada have sex, and that's why you are here. I could not believe it. It was kind of complete disaster for me. I went home, and then I told my mother, and they would not tell me. They even wouldn't tell me about the ladies have a period. They would not tell. It was all secret, all down, nobody talks about it. But now it's too much of it. Now it's everywhere, so children know better than me. My job is to regularize the things that what is right and what is wrong, and to make them understand that sex is not this, what is called porn. Sex is not that. And I told them what is sex is and what is relationship is, yeah? So I have to draw the between lines that let them know that it's not what it is, and they have to make their own decision. But obviously not for the 5-year-old child. When they grow up, when they are 10, 11, 12, that time when they go to the puberty, I have to explain to them. And then we have open conversation. And you know, sometimes like even families, they're all closed up. Like we are not that closed up in the family. Sometimes you have to even show your body to the children, yeah? Because the male child, put it this way, yeah? They're growing up and they have their genitalities, obviously, right? And like Freud called some, you know, some theories there. I'm not gonna say that word. His was idea that we are all penis theory, some kind of penis theory, yeah? It's very funny. But if the Raymond Baba say like that, growing up, his own genitalities only, right? But he needs to see his daughter's one as well. He needs to see that. And on top of it, he needs to see the naked woman as well, within the family. And that's okay, not like you're doing some kind of erotic things and stuff like that, but they need to be aware how the biological body are growing. So when they go to the puberty, they know that dada have it, it's okay. They are not going scared. If you are prepare them, right, their puberty will go very easily, and that, believe me, it was happening. You know, boys like to go to the toilet and, you know, start to playing with this wheelie. Usually with the children starts, if your child have the diapers and then you allow your child to have the diapers until age 3, it's very difficult for child to make pee-pee without diapers. And it's a huge problem all around the world. Believe me, I tried. I met the children, they could not pee-pee without diapers after 3 years because they're so used to don't see their own genitalities. And then when you opened up and then now pee-pee comes out, they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? And it's become something really, really different with the children. So I usually, what I did with the boys, I let them run sometimes without diapers. Let them pee. He pees one time, he pees another time, and third time he will learn he had to go to the toilet. And that's what they did. Magical. It's not magical. We train the dogs, and you can show the children to pee-pee, so now they look at this wheelie, then they look at the pee-pee, and they learn. Pee-pee comes from the wheelie, that's why it's there. Same goes with the lady girls. Now, I never had so many children, so I can tell you like how the process goes. Like some girls like 3, their sexuality is very high, you know, and they find out their genitalities now, same as the boys. So sometimes they play with it, and then sometimes they find in some places they have. And it's okay. For me to see this from beginning, I was going nuts. I didn't know what to do as a mother because I never experienced it, or maybe I don't remember, and my mother never told me. So there was no one to even talk about it. You got me? Because, no one talks about it, you know, but the children have this, the pleasure places, and boys and the girls, but it doesn't mean that they have to make sex. They have to learn, and it's their place. So when I see that, first of all, I was very reactive, completely reactive, and instead of me say, okay, I'm not gonna be reactive, I'm gonna be proactive, I went, I researched it, I observed it, and then I learned, and then you'll have to let them be in that time and tell them, now, if you wanna find something that's happy, then you go, and then don't show everyone, but you show them, you direct them, because they are children, they don't know. They don't know what they're doing. And obviously, in my childhood, probably we are doing as well to understand what's going on with our bodies, yeah? Because if the adult can touch himself, why kids cannot touch himself? You know, you cannot tell them what they can do and what they're not. And you cannot embarrass them as well on top of it. So in my children, I learned that really, really strongly. And then now I have 3 girls and 3 boys, and everything is very smooth. We don't embarrass each other what we do. It's more nice to be in this kind of relationship with my children, especially. I think we all can do it. We can all apply some kind of different way to understand our children and then respect their own values, what they carry when they are children. See, like the children get influenced very quickly. Yeah, but the foundation in the family is strong. This influence is just a noise. I believe the healthy relationships, that's how it starts. You don't have to control that. You have to teach them. And then now I started teaching them how to talk to each other as well. It's all about learning and how much time you have to devote for it, but it doesn't require time. Children know already, unless someone not corrupt you from the family. So the foundation family is very important in that point, and they will draw their own line. This is different kind of generation growing up. If the more the people direct them children to observe these things themselves and then explain to them in the correct way, I think that their brain will know what to do. We have to respect their choices. I have a dialogue, and then when you sit down, and then if they are 5 years old, and you explain to them in a way that you are not offending them, you keeping your boundaries with them, you show them example, and you show them one example, and you show the next example, whatever is the subject is, and then you let them choose. Yeah. When they choose something is not correct for them, you explain. So when child understand on a child language or the adult language, they will listen. It's just so simple. But we complicate these things. Some parents, just to get rid of the children, they just give them the phone. These have to be balanced, obviously. Yeah. Everyone has a phone in my family. But there is a time when I say, okay, now phones come in my bedroom, it sits there. And then I don't have to hide it. Don't force it. It never works. If you force something to them, it never works. That's the children. They will change. But this breaking point when they are going to change, that's why the guidance is there, and that's why we are parents for them to guide them, right? Children are miracles. If they come to your life, make sure you keep them and make sure you make conscious decision to give them a good life, not in the sense of the wealth and the physical wealth, but the sense of the value of the happiness, love, support, and unconditional love. That's all they have to do.